can power you. Innovation, he knows what he's talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, please, my brother, my friend, Mr. Zion Emmanuel Obeten. Please, you can do better for him. He's going to be the moderator for the first panel session. So please sit back and enjoy this. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, coppers, we are not giving me that ginger. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zion Obeten, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this very enriching, enlightening, and interesting panel session. What we're going to be discussing today has a lot to do with everyone seated here. Everyone seated here. We're going to be talking about the state of the nation and what we can do to make it better. When we're talking about the state of the nation, we're not just talking about statistics. We're not just talking about the government. We're talking about you. We're talking about the everyday reality of students who are trying to seek better education. We're talking about the entrepreneur who is trying to stay afloat in his business. We're talking about that family that is looking for security, be it financial security, be it emotional security. I mean, we just got a good news yesterday that those kidnapped victims in Oyo State have been released. Are you excited about that? I mean, when I saw that news, I was so excited because they became my prayer point almost every day. But there are still some in the bush, which we are still praying for their swift release. But now this is the state of the nation that we find ourselves in. But then there are other beautiful things about the nation that we cannot underlook or undermine. And Aboki has mentioned quite a number of them. But today's discussion is going to be talking about what we can do to make this nation better. But before I invite my distinguished panelists, I would like to ask, by a show of hands, how many of you believe that this nation can still help you achieve your dreams? Be honest. Oh, quite a number of hands. Quite a number of hands. How many of you, by a show of hands, if you were presented a visa now to leave this country, you will not even think twice going back to your house to pick up your clothes? From here straight to the airport and straight to the country. Let me see your hands. Okay, thank you for your honesty. All right, I'm sure some of you would say there is no hope in this nation, but then we are here to have a practical discussion, to have a thoughtful and a thought-provoking conversation where we'll begin to see not just the challenges, but to have meaningful conversations about practical solutions of how we can make this nation a nation of our dream. Yesterday, my wife was just reading out to me different countries in Africa. She said, Morocco is the most visited country in Africa. Seychelles is one of the smallest. And then she mentioned Nigeria as the richest. And when she mentioned it, honestly, I was like, really? Wow. Not that I do not know, but the reality is not at par. Do you agree? But then we can turn this thing around. And that's the reason we're going to be having this discussion. I would like to say thank you very much once again to every one of you who has come. Thank you to Ola Barnabas, who has given me this opportunity, and my mentor, Aboki, who also came here to, open up our minds to see that indeed we can innovate to make this country a country of our dreams. Our distinguished panelists here have quite a rich profile, but everything has just been summarized because of time. And as I call them, please, I want you to do yourself a favor, first of all, because they're going to be opening your mind. But then I want to make them feel so much appreciated. These people are very busy people who have left their busy schedules to be here. In no particular order, we have the first, who is a journalist of more than 25 years in print media, Business Day newspaper. He's a nation builder and a political analyst on Cool FM. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me make welcome on stage Mr. Jacob Ajakaiye. Come on. Is that the best you can do to appreciate him? Thank you so much, sir. If you are a fan or a listener to Cool FM, most mornings you hear his voice. I mean, the depth with which he analyzes what's going on in the nation is so enthralling. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Next, he's the founder of Peace Initiatives Network Nigeria's leading NGO in peace building, with a permanent seat traveled. He has local operations in Kano and Abeokuta states. This man has traveled far and wide to many nations of the world, all for the love of peace. I have known him for quite a number of years now. He has a way of bringing together people from different ethnic and religious divides together. Please help me make welcome Dr. Femi Micheal Sodipo. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for coming. We celebrate you, sir. Thank you. And last but not least, he is a banker for more than 20 years, a nation builder as well, and a public affairs analyst on Cool FM. Ladies and gentlemen, help me make welcome Mr. Peter Oloniyo. Come on, guys. Help me do this better. Thank you. Thank you for coming, sir. We cannot wait to hear the insights of these distinguished panelists on how we can make our nation better. And I'm going to be throwing some questions to you, the audience, as well. So it's going to be more engaging than just a monologue or a dialogue between me and my panelists. So thank you so much once again for being on this panel. I'd like to start with the first question, Mr. Jacob. Someone comes to you. Okay, let's say I come to you, sir, and I say, I'm tired of this country. I just want to leave. I want to leave immediately. What will you tell me?
Thank you.
I'm sure I asked the question of many of you, right? All right, what will you tell me, sir?
Well, thank you. I think I need to thank our convener for the privilege of this yearly ritual. I have the opportunity. I will first start by telling you that I have the opportunity as far as 1992 to leave Nigeria. I have a friend who is a citizen of Beckerfield in Germany. And we wanted to go. But since then, before the opportunity to go came, I'm starting with my own story. I have been an avowed citizen. There's nowhere I want to be that I feel I'm destined to be than Nigeria. You understand me? I've known of this, what they call the skinhead in Germany. That was one thing that pushed me off. The skinhead are like the underbus. If they meet you like anywhere along the two, you can be beaten even after a football match. They deal with you in any way and nothing happens to you. And then by my religious conviction, or I won't say religion, because I belong to a spiritual group, and we believe actually in what God has done, the Supreme Being has done, making you a black man, giving you a space here. And the only way you can have fulfillment is within this space. If you ask those who have traveled, there's nowhere, even those who are outside, when they are there, they still want to connect back home. I have several uncles in Germany, in Canada, who have been there before these current waves of those who went there. He's a medical doctor. He was in Canada with 4 children, a Canadian citizen. His longing was to come back to Nigeria. We made him come back, but something happened in Kaduna where they gave him the employment. Overnight, he drove back to my town one night and told us he just came to let us know he's going back. And we know why he left. Instead of going back to Canada, he went to St. John in US. So what am I trying to say? Nigeria has so much opportunity. This is the richest nation on earth. Nigeria, like every other black country, is situated in the center of the world. You have less, what you call natural disasters. You don't have them here. We are the most brilliant people looking at the history of the ethno groups that make up Nigeria, where these ethno groups are the most advanced people before the current civilization we are talking about. We have good lands. We have 33 mineral resources in commercial quantity. And if there's anywhere anybody want to be, that is why you see foreigners coming in. And when they come, we have many of them as friends, diplomats and what have you. When they come, you see their skin when they come. When they want to go, they don't want to go. They confide in some of what they don't want to leave. They're only compelled to live. Are you with me? So I would use all this analogy to let you know why you are in the best place. Granted that we don't have a perfect system because we don't have good governance. And we don't have good governance because our history has been distorted or disrupted by the adventures of the military and the quest for excessive materialism on the part of the politicians, corruption. People want to take more than they can eat. People want to take what their children do not even need. So by the time we have a government, and we can have it under a democracy, which we are still doing trial and error now. Under a democracy, you can criticize the government. You can ask for more for government to improve on what they have not done. And what Nigeria is, where we are getting it wrong, is that we have a faulty constitution. The constitution is a 419 constitution. We keep on insisting on this thing. In the sense that they tell you, we, the people of Nigeria, Nigerians have never sat anywhere to fashion a constitution. And what can make citizens benefit from their nation is when there's a social contract between the citizens and the state. And that section 2 of our constitution is not justifiable. They promise you economic right, the political right, the political intellectual rights. If they refuse to give you a job after you finish your NYC, you cannot take government to court. If you go to court, they cannot do anything. They cannot award costs against the states. And that is why somebody can even violate the law of nature. Somebody who cannot give birth, who cannot take care of 2 children, will give birth to 20 children. And the government will close their eyes because it doesn't bother, because they don't have responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility. So until the citizens insist that section 2 of our constitution is made justifiable, that you and I can take government to court for allowing pothole on our roads, that will allow accident and somebody will die and nobody take responsibility, that will allow your children, people to give back indiscriminately, not taking care of them, allowing them to come whatever they become and become a nuisance of the society, and nobody take responsibility for that until we have that section 2 becoming justifiable. We will not have a citizen where you and I can enjoy the right of God-given benefit which nation possesses. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, thank you. Dr. Sodipo, you have traveled to, a dozen countries in the world. What makes you keep coming back? I'm sure you could stay in any of those countries and be comfortable there. But what is that thing that keeps making you come back to Nigeria? Is it just because of your initiatives, or is there something else? We'd like to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Obeten, for this very wonderful question. But before I go to your question, to answer your question, let me just give this note of thanks to the convener, Mr. Ola Barnabas. And I want to say a very big thank you for what you also, your support for us in the Southwest. Because the seed of what we planted in Southwest 6 years ago is growing now. And the same traffic of people coming all over the world to Kano, and they are now moving towards the Southwest. Thank you so much. Why Nigeria? Or let me say, why Kano? I want to sign this as a note of caution to all of us here. What we are all saying here is not scope. We're not scoping you. And it's not based on maybe our size. Because if you look at Ola Barnabas, look at me, it's not based on size of these people or maybe the clothing, riga or whatever. But I'll tell you that the substance getting from here, they are undated. I became what is known all over the world, Micheal. For those of you who are probably maybe something to do with peace building all over the world, when you mention peace work, not only in Nigeria, in Africa, Peace Initiative Network is one of them. And we started in Kano here about 22 years ago. If I tell you where we started, how we started, would think, just like what Prince Daniel said, Aboki, we were mad. We were very crazy. Because we were not looking at money. In fact, our first office was more like a small table, like a dining table. And before we know it, the British Council that we all know took over our program. My last trip to US, I only spent 2 nights in New York when I attended one of the CSO's UN buildings. What am I saying? You can start anything without it. Don't look at money, because if you look at money, money is a deceit. Don't look at where you are starting from. And I'll tell you, Kano is a very good ground to start from, because Kano is a breeding space. You can see the dust, the sun. I've walked and I also walk now in the south. What we have in the south is more like, I like call it, makeup. They make it up. But the real substance of what we do here, when you do half of it in the south, you will be all over the world. And that's why most of even our artists, anybody, when you move from here to the south, in the next 2-3 years, you see yourself over there, because the real work is done here in the north. And Kano, I'll tell you, is a good place for you to be. For those of you who are NYC, the young people, I'll tell you, remain here and salvage it together. Why am I coming back to Kano or even to Nigeria? Because I'm still known as Micheal in Kano. That's what I've been. But this is a place I can call home. This is a place I will walk. I can walk. Not like somewhere when I walk in Belfast. Somebody will send maybe chicken, bone of chicken to me, like a dog. When I walk the streets of Europe, I've been thrown chicken bone. Is it in Africa, in America, in whatever? So what I want to say now is that this is a place I can call home. My cousin in New York, that was the last trip when I spent only 2 nights, 48 hours, because the meeting was going on for two days. He said, Uncle Femi, it's like you are crazy. You will be the only person that will come to America and leave the next day. Why? Because I know I've found my purpose. Yeah. And I know my purpose is here. It's like a fish out of water. When I stay other place, I will struggle. I don't want to struggle. That's why I remain here.
Thank you.
Because I know this is where I belong.
Wow. That was amazing. I've interacted with Dr. Femi one-on-one as far back as, I think, 2019. And we share similar stories because it was in 2004 that we were both affected by the ethno-religious riot in Kano. I remember at that time, our house was burnt down completely. He also lost his house. And I lost some friends as well. And it was that seemingly negative situation that brought about this initiative that he founded and that has taken him all around the world today. So it tells you that even your adversity can bring out something from it that's good. Thank you so much. And I love what he concluded with. He said, I have found my purpose here. Because this place might look rugged to a lot of people, but for some people, it's their own place of purpose. And the moment he leaves, it looks as if it's fish out of water. So thank you so much for the great things you do, sir. Mr. Oloniyo, I want to ask you this straightforward question. What, in your opinion, would you describe as the current state of Nigeria now? And how would you describe that current state?
Well, I want to thank everyone that is here, and also want to thank the convener, my good friend. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to come and interact. You asked me the current state of Nigeria. Nigeria is on a survival mode. We are on a survival mode. One of the biggest problems is the food problem. When a man is still searching for what he's going to eat, he cannot be innovative. most of the things that will come out of that innovation will be anger. Most of the developed world, if you look at them carefully, they first of all solve the food problem. In fact, one of those that came late was China and discovered that if these people are hungry, we will not be able to achieve anything. In fact, a hungry man is partially mad. Your brain is not working normal. And it cannot be constructive and creative at the same time. When the tummy is empty, that's the problem of our stomach. In fact, the Hausa people say that it is the water inside your tummy that will enable you to bring out the water inside the well. Meaning that when the water here is empty, you cannot draw virtue. And that's why foreign people will come here and see opportunity because they didn't come on an hunger mode. They come and they can see clearly what is happening. But you are inside. Some people will tell you, Nigeria, what's going on? There's opportunity everywhere. Come on, what's wrong with you guys? Why are you guys lazy? No, it's because of the condition of those that are inside. They are not strong enough mentally to see what is going on. And if we do not leave this stage, development will be so far away from us. That's the reality. As a student of economics, you measure economy by average. A rich man in a poor family is poor because when you divide his wealth by the number of people in that household, he cannot meet their need. He's not a rich man. Dangote today, divide his wealth by Nigeria number, even by Kano. He's a poor man. He cannot meet the need. And if you look at countries like China, they have been able to grow the middle class to the next level. And the next one that are below, they are coming up. Now, the story of Nigeria is that we have been on a position for a long time. If you are driving a car and you are the traffic and your car has developed fault suddenly, what is going to happen in that place is that you are going to cause commotion. Because a lot of people cannot drive well, meaning that the traffic system will be distorted. When you are coming on a high speed, you have to find a way to bend. Because you are even angry, what is wrong with the car of this person? You have a lot of Nigerians that are stranded. And that's the reason why we are where we are today. For me to round up, let me put it this way. The same young men and women that you perceive to be lazy here, when they cross the shore of this land and move to the other side, suddenly the stone is rolled away. There are a lot of things that can actually roll away the stone. Because if you are inside the tomb, somebody has to open the way for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say it, I'm proud of Nigeria. But there are people that your destiny, with all due respect, is not here. What it means is that you have to look at yourself, because this environment where you are, which we call Nigeria, do you have enough friends that you can leverage on? Because when the speaker was talking about the technology, fintech company, and the traditional banking and all that, as it is today, the fintechs company leverage, in fact, they use the resources of the traditional bank to do whatever they are doing. There's what we call the NIST platform, which belongs to the banker committee in Nigeria. So even if you are a wonderful fintech, you need to go to the traditional bank, one of them, and get what we call an API, so that they grant it to you. If not, you cannot even do any transaction. Go to some of these fintech belongs to them. You understand? So if you are an individual, if you're a young person in Nigeria, who are you leveraging on? Who are you interacting with? Because you cannot do it alone. You understand? You have to move with people that will take you to the next level. You see a lot of young people in Nigeria, the mode now. Some is a mode of love. They are in relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you are putting a lot of emotion that needs to drive your destiny to the next level. And this emotion can only be dissipated to one area. And you are so focused on one side that is not making you to go to the next level. What it means is that for you to be a better person in Nigeria, you must learn well. Because if you want to achieve well, you must, whatever it is that you want to do, you must learn it well and have the knowledge. So, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is an interesting company. Well, let me call it a company, actually. You understand? Because in a company, you have profit is being declared, revenue is being declared. It is only the shareholders that get the dividends. Are you a shareholder? The fact that you are holding national ID card does not mean that you have been able to secure your own allocation. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. I mean, I love the fact that he was honest about the situation, but then he began to profess solutions, because it is clear, we cannot debate that in every problem, there can be a solution. Is that correct? There can be a solution. Let me come to Mr. Jacob. Now, he has identified a major problem, which is hunger. But what would you say is that problem in Nigeria that requires immediate attention? I know we have several of them, but for you, what is that one that you say, if this one gets immediate attention, other ones will begin to align? What would that be?
I've said it earlier. I think I tried to say it in my opening remarks. We have not yet got a nation. We are just a country. A nation, a group of people that have common purpose, working within a common purpose for a common purpose. And that purpose can be encapsulated in the book that binds them together, where they draw inspirations. And where a nation draws inspiration is their constitution. What makes a country a nation, people graduated from being just a country to a nation, is when they have a book that takes care of their interests. Over time, Nigeria is being run, operated in an ad hoc manner. And that was what the military intervention, the first military intervention created. We know they came to correct a problem, but they created more problems that eventually distorted our country. And until we get that right, governance, which is the essence, the tool that could be used to advance the well-being of society, will not be achieved. And the first thing, if I have to suggest, is that we need a new constitution beyond what this government is doing, where Nigerians will sit down as people of common purpose, common vision, common interest, where you will not reside in Kano like I do. I was born in Kaduna. I've been in Kano more than 30 years. I've been in the media more than 30 years, not 25 years. And my wife was born here. I have 4 daughters born here. They cannot claim this city. And you won't blame a Kano man who will tell you no. Because the books that binds us together does not compel them to say, look, I have a right, and if that right is not given to me or my children, I can go to court and get judgment, and which is enforceable. So the first thing that should be done, if Nigeria is to work well for all of us, where is that there should be a social contract, where a man, a Fulani man, and a Hausa man that is in your state have right of citizenship, can claim right if he's not given job in Oyo State, and can claim right if his children is not given the right to education in Oyo State. Are you with me? And until we come, and who can do that? You and I who are educated. That is when our governance will not be hijacked by the elites who are using it to service themselves, their friends, and those who are close to them. That is when we have to put pressure on whoever comes, either this government or who comes after him, that we need a constitution where the social contract will be enforced and will be enforceable, where you can go to court and seek right if security is not provided for them, if there is no good road and good all this. So it starts with our constitution. That is how nations are formed. Nations we are taking clue from have this social contract between their citizens and the states. Their state take care of their interests. And when those rights are being violated, the citizens go to court and get judgment. And when a citizen is violating the right of others, the state takes its course on those citizens. So these are the first thing we need to do. We need to put pressure on whoever is in government to have a constitution that will derive from the will of Nigerian people. That we say we Nigerian people have agreed to live together, to see ourselves as brothers in respect of our religious groups, to provide well-being for everybody in respect of citizenship. Until we get that done, we're going to play around the bush, and the elite are going to leverage on that for their own self-enrichment. Thank you.
Come on, can we appreciate that perspective? Thank you so much. While I was listening to you, I remember what Dele Farotimi always says, that the way the country is, you mentioned constitution, Dele Farotimi will always mention system. That even though we have maybe the best person, the person with the best interest at heart, exactly, even an angel, you just said, that if that constitution or that system is not well fixed, there will still be a problem. Because you come in with a good heart to run on a faulty system will not guarantee a very good country. So I think to an extent we agree with what you've said. Thank you. Dr. Sodipo, let me come to you. You have been involved in a lot of peace initiatives where you are not just concerned about a particular tribe. We live in a nation today with more than 250 ethnic groups. But then when you go about doing your work, you carry everybody along. You started in Kano and you're a Yoruba person. The question is, how have you been able to help to bridge that divide? Because that is still a problem. You come on social media, you see somebody is trying to fight for a better Nigeria in his own way. People will come out and say, oh, it's because he's so person. Because he's this. You always go to the comment section and you always see those tribal, especially tribal undertone. You will see them there. And then you're wondering, are these people really ready for a change? I saw one comment yesterday, I saw a post yesterday where one northerner went to, we all know VDM, right? He went to his office and then people were asking him, why would you go to his office? This man just said something about the North. Whereas if you listen to what he said objectively, he was just trying to identify the problems that the North has, and then he was trying to prefer a solution. And then I was compelled to come under this section. I said, hey, I first of all commended the young northerner who went to visit him to look for a way to get the country to a better place. And I wrote in my concluding statement, I said, we came into this world without a tribe. We will die without a tribe. What matters is that we come together and build a better nation. So how have you been able, in your own way, to bridge that divide so that Nigeria will get better?
I think, well, thank you so much. The first thing I think what we did first, I want to give that kudos to to the team in Peace Initiative Network. What we did first was to work on ourselves and by forgiving ourselves. Because without forgiveness, we cannot do anything. When we look at what happened to us in Kano, or how we became who we are today, we look for vengeance. But we have to forgive first. Because without forgiveness, there's no peace. So it is when you forgive, then you can look at the good in others. You don't see them. In fact, those boys that even came and burned down our property in Nausawa from Sheka, at a point, they became part of us. They became Peace Vanguard. And they formed what they call Nagata Tuche Nasara. That is, they formed an association in Sheka working for peace. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I've lived, this year will make it 42 years in Kano. While I was here, I'm still here because my family are still around. I'm still here. At home, the so-called home, I'm seen as a Kano boy, as a Kano man. I'm home. Olabana can attest to that. We are seen as Kano people. So, who are we? We have to work on ourselves first to know who we are before you can work on others. And I want to give an instance, even to the Hausa community in Abeokuta. The Setkin Hausa happen to come from Kano also. And when you go to their community in Sabo, it's just like what we see in Sabongeri. When you go to Okemoson, go to where the Yoruba, where we live, very good, very, very nice. Just like what we have in Kano. So it is not, it's the system that gives room for such double standard. Where somebody born in the north, also from the north, but cannot have what it takes to be a northerner. Not even for those of us that came, probably live in Kano for 40 years, that cannot even, most of our children, they are either in Benin or Port Harcourt for their higher education because they can't get, it is very difficult to get their required, probably their choice of course in the school year. I'm not talking down on what is happening in the north. The same thing also at home, back home in Abeokuta or in Lagos State. You find that, so the system is something that we have to work on. Let me look at what my brother also said, that we have to look at unity. There must be unity in this diversity. So that we don't see ourselves as a Kano man or a Yoruba boy or Hausa person. But we should see ourselves as one. It is when we become a state, a nation state. Because what we have now, we are not even a state, it's not even a nation. But if you can even manage a nation state, I think that will also help to see how we can look at somebody. I remember as a student of politics, I learned that even in Enugu in those days, we have a Hausa man who became a councillor. Just like we also have in Kano or in Kaduna or in Lagos, we have in Oyo. Why can't we bring back those values, those ideals of our founding fathers, the Zekis of this world, the Amadu Bello of this world that also have his own secretary, a Yoruba man, an Oku man? Why can't we have such? Because when we look back, we see that the politicians we have now, I think they are more selfish and they divide us more than who we are. Because I remember in those days, even APU is seen as like even the route to Bingiwa, where you find everybody. Professors from Yoruba land, from Igbo land, domicile, and they live very well. The same thing when you go to Ibadan, you find the first VC, an Igbo man, also in Lagos. So it is also on us with the upcoming, because like I know we now our own, we are just almost at the doorstep because we've crossed the I've crossed the. So it's just that we have to look at for the young ones. In fact, when I look back, when we were growing up, the rush for wealth, the rush for property is not like this. The first thing is that know the son of or the child of whom you are. But nobody cares now. All those ideas of Omoluabi, the Yoruba person, is gone. My state now is known as the headquarters of Yahoo boys. And we also have association of Yahoo mothers. So what are we saying is that we have to look back and see what can we do to make this country work.
Thank you.
The country that we all love so much, that Aboki can travel all over the world. He has all the visas of this world. And he refused to go, just like I also did. I do. So and you find the young ones now at a beacon of even with 2 weeks visa, they are there. But are they doing well? I'm telling you, if you see even what our boys and girls are going through, both even in the Americas, I've seen it. Even in New York, you find people living on the street. Not even black, even white, on the street. With their dogs, on the street. So there's no, the grass is not greener anywhere. It is where you make it that it will be greener.
Amazing.
So the fact remains that the country, the unity, we have to look at it first. And that's what we look at ourselves. We don't see ourselves as either a non-needed in Kano. We did what we did in Kano, and we are so glad we did what we did. In fact, if we have done half or even a quarter of what we did in Kano or in Plateau or in Kaduna, we've not done that even in Ogun State. And I'll tell you, I live among who is who in Ogun State. In fact, just last week, Saturday, I was with Obasanjo. The Baba was telling me, come. In fact, we are expecting people to come from US. I think in the next week they are coming. Baba was asking me, Doctor, where am I going to meet them? You can imagine Baba Obasanjo asking me, where is he going to meet people coming? We said, no, we are coming to you. We'll come to your house. But why are we saying this? It's because we've already carved a niche for ourselves. We didn't go back as beggars. We go back with purpose, with mission, and with vision of what we are doing. So
Thank you.
You can start, as I've said earlier on, you can start anywhere. You can start anywhere. Mr. Peter said something that hunger is real. It can even be cloud reasoning, but you have to live outside those hunger and leverage on your network. As some people will say, your network is your net worth. So if you mingle with low-level people, you will remain low-level.
Thank you.
If you want to go with eagle, they fly high. They don't just maintain low altitude. So you have to change your mindset first and work on yourself first before you can be who you want to be. Forget about your environment. Your environment will tell you can't be. Kano told us we can't be anything, but we said no. And I'll tell you, it's out of Kano. We came out and we are there all over the world. There's nowhere anybody, even at the UN, when they talk about issue of peace, even in Nigeria, we are part of people that designed the counter-terrorism at the office of ONSA, the Badu. They cannot do anything without talking to us. So what are we saying? You can be anywhere and be somebody. You can be anywhere and do what you want to do. But the first is that you have to sell, you must be sold out. You must be sold out. Your hunger, your whatever cannot be a barrier. But you have to move with people, the like minds. I told you my like minds are people like Oda Barnabas, Aboki, that everywhere we go, we meet. So you must have your network to be able to have that network.
Thank you very much. Words on marble there. We don't have much time, so we're going to be rounding up very soon. Let me come to Mr. Oloniyo. You mentioned hunger. You mentioned some problems that we are being bedeviled with. Now, the question, being in the economy, the banking sector, the finance sector for years now, a lot of young people will be asking, how do I even get opportunities to even get money? Because we cannot underestimate the power of money right now. People need to take care of their basic needs first before they think about even other things that, according to Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So what are some of the opportunities would you say that young people here can embrace? Some people say, wow, with your phone, you can do a lot. But I'm sure they are willing to hear from you, being someone who is concerned about the economy of the nation. So what would you say to these young persons?
Well, once again, thank you. Honestly, my heart goes to the young people in Nigeria, with all due respect, when you talk about money, which in business we call capital. Now, the way the institutions are working, with all due respect, Nigerian institutions, most especially the banks, honestly, if your dream, for instance, is I'm going to write a plan and I will just take it to the bank and they will just sponsor it, the answer is a no. Capital no. Because what the bank does is to augment working capital. You have started it, it's already running. So how they will come in is for them to come and support. And they shouldn't be owning more than 40 or 30% of your stake in the business. So where can you get this money from? The elders in this country, you know, those days, there's this proverb that I feel it has expired, because the last time somebody raised that proverb, said, no, sir, don't use this proverb again. They said, where an elder is sitting down, that what he's seeing while seated, even you as a young person, when you climb a Iroko tree, you will not see it. The elders of now, they are not seeing anything, they are blind. Completely, they are blind. Maybe due to selfishness, due to so many issues. That's one. Two, most of the money in Nigeria, they are not clean. When you sit with a rich man in Nigeria, we've sat with rich men around the world, and you always ask them, how did you make your money? Do you know what? They'll sit you down. You can be 30 minutes with these people. They are so proud of it. This is what I did. This is how I got my first $1 million. So when he tells you, this is how I got my first $1 million, just expect explanation. I bought this. I did this. I sold it. You understand? I did this, and at the end of the day, it was $100,000. They have this in their brain. They move to the next class and tell you at the end of the day, it already increased and all that. You'll be hearing explanation of how wealth is growing. Go and meet a Nigerian as a Nigerian, a young Nigerian. Meet 80% of the rich Nigerians who are supposed to be teachers and mentors. And say, sir, how did you get your money, sir? Most of them do what we call money laundering. With due respect to the politicians that are here, I'm sorry, they use a lot of them. When we did some market analysis, you see two people in the market selling the same thing, having almost the same kind of patronage. Same industry. Not another industry, the same. Shop A, shop B. Let's say they are into pharmaceuticals, for instance. So this one is selling pharmaceutical product. This one is also selling pharmaceutical product. Then after some time, you now discover that, this one is making money. This other person is lazy. No, somebody is not telling you something. That's the reality. Somebody has injected money. There was a day, a customer called me and said, somebody want to invest $1 billion into his account. I asked him. They were asking, how will this $1 billion get into the account and there won't be noise? Because that is always what they will always say. We see, we are in the financial system. We see how the money is moving. I can tell you this one for free of charge. We understand the money laundering business in Nigeria very well. So at the end of the day, as a young person, you have gone to somebody, met him, and you expect the person to give you guidance on how he's going to move to the next level. But at the end of the day, you will just hear, just keep moving, keep striving. God is your strength. Do you know what? When you wake up in the morning and the energy is not coming, just say, I can do it. By the time you get to the street and the sun is scorching, you say, no, I will not be discouraged. He did not give you the template. You will die under the sun. He did not tell you the truth. He needs to tell you how he made his money. Because that is what we move you to the next level. That's what we're going to shoot you up, man. But you are listening to somebody that is telling you cock and bull story. Why should a father die in a family and the wealth of that family is dried up because the source, something is wrong with it? He cannot pass to the children that legacy, that information. He goes to the grave with it. That is the kind of men you have in the society. So the young men are just like a garden that is not well cultivated. You can never harvest anything from it. And that's the story of Nigeria. So the money, sir, the money issue. What do we do? It's so difficult to get a capital of 100 million naira. You have a good idea. See, all this Facebook, all this TikTok, whatever you see, in their country, that's what they call angel investors in countries that are working. Some of the angels investors are their governments who will give you money. China does that well. So you cannot even compete with a Chinese man because his government is behind him. They know he will repatriate. Talk to your government. A story that you are going to hear. Your parents, the money is not there. For those that go to church, some church, they will not support you. And they have billions in investments. You see, the conversation, most times when some people want to go into the conversation of money and you are looking at them, you just be thinking that what are they saying? Because you are not ready to help your poor people. There are some people in some places or association or ministry or whatever you attend. That people or those people in that environment supposed to have given you your capital. Your capital is there. So they will tell you, serve, work hard, and God will reward you. Meanwhile, there are resources that you just have to give to some people. Lastly, the You Win program was just, is it 5 million, 10 million? That was what Nkoji Awela that brought during Jonathan. Just 10 million naira. There are people that got 10 million naira then. Today they have businesses of their own. Vis-a-vis those that you have now, where can you get your 10 million from right now to be able to start your business? You are encouraging young people, start business, do business, do business, do business. Can you do business without working capital? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Oloniyo. I wish I could engage some of the audience, but the MC has been on my neck here. It's almost pressing my neck to leave the stage. So on that note, we would like to stop here. But then, I hope you've gotten value from what they shared. I wish we had more time. They've talked about how we can build a solid system. But don't forget that the system also comprises you. I hope you know that. Because if you are not changed, it's humans that still create the system. So if the humans are not positively shaped, then they're still going to bring about a flawed system. So we must begin to work on ourselves. Dr. Sodipo talked about embracing ourselves, love, forgiveness. A country, a nation would do better if the citizens begin to show love one for another. And yes, we know there are so many problems and challenges, but we cannot rule out the fact that the solutions still lie within this country. But hey, I'm not one person that will be dishonest to say if you have opportunity to leave this country and you believe you can make it out there, you should not leave. But if by the time you are still here and you've not gotten the opportunity, start doing something. Because at the end of the day, it's not extraordinary people that do extraordinary things, and by that act, that the country is better. It's by all the citizens playing their own little parts, every day doing the right things. As simple as you taking water and dumping the sachet in the garbage truck, that is you doing the right thing. We see what's going on in Lagos, the flooding because of maybe, even in Kano, you see clogged drainages. Who are the people clogging the drainages? Is it the government? Because a lot of times we want to put all the responsibility on the government, but the government also came out from you and from me. So we've got to start doing things the right way. I believe you've gotten something. I want to thank my distinguished panelists once again. Please let me appreciate Mr. Peter Oloniyo. Thank you so much for your rich perspective. Dr. Micheal Sodipo, thank you so much. And Mr. Jacob Ajakaiye. Till we come your way next day, I remain Zion Obeten. I want to wish you a fruitful remainder part of the conference. Thank you.
Please, can we celebrate Mr. Zion? That was an amazing session. And of course, our panelists, our amazing panelists, Dr. Femi, who used to be my father before he stopped. I don't know why he stopped. Dr. Femi Sodipo, Mr. Peter Oloniyo, and of course, Mr. Ajakaiye. Thank you so much for pouring. Please, are we getting value?